Good morning, all. This is Mrs. Harshika working as an assistant professor in AA and DS department. Subject code AL3451, subject name Machine Learning in the regulation 2021. Today, we're going to discuss the topic Support Vector Machine SVM algorithm. SVM is famous because it does not just find a line, it finds the best line. By the end of the session, you will understand how geometry helps machines make decisions. SVM is a supervised algorithm primarily used for classification. Imagine you have two sets of data, apples and oranges. SVM looks for a hyperplane, a decision boundary to separate them. The unique part is that it focuses on the margin. The goal is to maximize the gap. A thin gap leads to errors, a wide gap leads to a robust model. Mention real world uses like spam detection or image recognition or cat or dog classification. How does the machine choose the line? In any dataset, there are infinite ways to draw a line between two groups. SVM uses an optimization formula to pick the one that provides the maximum margin. The line is nothing but the decision plane. It's a maximum margin. Classifies the two classes. Next, key concepts of super support vector machine. Hyperplane, the line 2D or plane that divides the data. Support vectors, these are the heroes of the algorithm. They are the data points closest to the boundary. If you move them, the boundary moves. Margin, the distance between the support vectors of different classes. Kernel, the secret cause for complex data. Hard versus soft margin. Hard margin is like a strict teacher, no mistakes, while a soft margin is a flexible to handle noisy data. How does the machine decide where to put the line? It's an optimization problem. In this visual, you see many possible lines. SVM calculate the distance from the nearest point of each class to the line. In then select the one where this distance the margin is the largest. So SVM is often called a maximum margin classifier. It stays as far away from the data as possible. It reduces the risk of misclassification. How the algorithm works. When the computer runs on SVM, it is not guessing. It is solving an optimization problem. It looks at all possible lines and calculate which one has the largest distance from the support vector machine. How does SVM classifies the data? The blue ball in the boundaries of red ones is an outlier of the blue ball. The SVM algorithm has characteristics to ignore the outliers and find the best hyperplane that maximize the margin. SVM is robust to outliers. The margin maximizes and penalty minimization. Objective function equal to 1 by margin plus lambda summation of penalty. Penalty used for violations is often which has the following behavior. Types of support vector machine. There are have a two main parts. One is linear support vector machine and another one is a non-linear support vector machine. In linear support vector machine uses a linear decision boundary to separate the data points of different classes. In non-linear support vector machine, it used to classify data when it cannot be separated into two classes by a straight line. The kernel function nonlinear SVM can handle nonlinear separable data. The original input data is transformed by these kernel functions into a hyperdimensional future space where the data points can be linearly separated. A linear SVM is used to locate a nonlinear decision boundary in this modified space. This diagram shows two groups of data separated by a line. The hyperplane is the center line in 2D space. It's a line. In 3D, it's a flat sheet. It acts as a wall between the two classes. Notice the points that have a dotted lines passed through them. These are the closest point to the boundaries. They are called support vectors because they literally support the portion of the hyperplane. If you move these specific points, the boundaries move. Next, advantages of support vector machine. High dimensional performance. Even if you have more features than data points, like in a DNA research, SVM stays accurate. Memory efficiency. Since only the support vectors are stored in the final model, it saves RAM. Because of the soft margin, it does not freak out over a single outlier. Memory efficiency. Binary and multi-class supports. Disadvantage of support vector machine. It is mathematically heavy. On a dataset with 10 million rows, it will be much slower than a navy bias or decision tree. It's hard for human to understand why the hyperplane is at a specific angle in 100-dimensional space. If one column has a numbers like 0.001 and another has 1 lakh, the SVM will fail. You must normalize your data first. Thank you.